You're listening to an East Coast Guild podcast. Check us out at eastcoastguild.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Leah.
And I'm Jim. Hi.
And we are That's No Moon Pod, your favorite call-in Star Wars theorizing podcast. Today, we're talking about Darth Maul, any and all Darth Maul from prequel era to Clone Wars and Rebels and beyond. If you have any questions, you can join us live on chat here at glimish.tv/kill. Or
1L, by the way. Just 1L.
1L.
K-I-L. 1L.
Or if you're listening after the fact, just join us next time we go live. Pay attention to our socials and you'll know when we're going to be streaming.
And check our show notes for any of those things that you might be missing, like our Discord link, the stream link, all those things. We'll have that stuff. What our usernames are everywhere. We have that in the show notes down below.
Yeah. And if you are on chat and have questions, join the Discord to call in at the end of the show. Once we're done yammering away, we can talk to you live and not in person, but
as close to in person as we can get. We're really excited about it because obviously Darth Maul has some pretty... If you're a pretty big Star Wars fan, you understand how important Darth Maul is to the story. And if you're a big Star Wars fan and you don't know, this is going to be a great learning opportunity for you. We're going to talk about it. Dave Filoni absolutely loves this character. And I'll be honest, the character itself is not important, but the slot he fills is the most important slot in the entire Skywalker Saga. So we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about it. We both agree on that fact, which is why I can say it without starting any fights.
Yeah.
Because I remember dawning on this a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, Leah, guess what? I got something for you." And I was hoping that it would throw you for a loop a little bit more, but you just straight up, you're like, "No, I think about this. This is regular talk for me." I was like, "Well, that's how I know I have the perfect co-host for this." So, but the thing is, when you think about who's important in the Skywalker Saga, obviously you're like, well, Luke's really important. And like, okay, yeah, Luke is pretty important. I'm not going to disagree with you. He does kind of, set it up to kill the Emperor. Although he doesn't kill the Emperor at all. Like, that was completely Darth Vader. Darth Vader is the hero at the end of the day.
But did he really kill him? That's a discussion for another time.
That's true. Brutally maim him.
Yeah.
Leave him in a spot where he cannot do anything else. And then, like, well, what about Anakin? Anakin's the chosen one. Yeah, but Anakin's fate was not chosen by his own will because Anakin was stuck with somebody who did not know how to properly communicate what the Force was to him.
Yeah, all because of our boy Darth Maul.
Exactly. So it's really exciting to look at. So I guess quick history of Darth Maul. He was a Zabrask born on Dathomir. And
the
I believe
worst planet.
The
absolute worst Star Wars planet.
Like maybe like next to like Exegol or one of the ones that's like an abandoned Sith planet. Like,
I think I'd rather live on Exegol than Dathomir.
That they got some weird spider thingies there. That's very true.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot of like black magic.
Lot of happy Sith magic times. All those good things.
On Exegol, you just be alone. You
with
could
a Sith cult,
like a hermit.
With the Sith cult, you just get to sit there and hang out with that wonderful cult of Sith lords.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. What's a little blood magic here or there. So of course, with Mama Tyson, right? I think
Townsend. Mother Townsend. Who's creepy.
She did the same thing that happened to Savage to Darth Maul, where she kind of like imbued him with this mystical Sith blood energy, right? Because blood magic, which was Force magic, which is just some ancient Sith crap, and
not good stuff,
and thus made him more aggressive, more attuned to the dark side, all of those things, and of course did that at the beck and whim of Sidious, who was looking for a new protege. And of course, now note that is some speculation because we actually don't get much of a background on him canonically.
We really don't. Not even like we kind of just pick up where we see him in Phantom Menace.
Exactly. And I think we were left to kind of just believe that him and Savage went down the same path.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me if that's the point. Then of course, you know, he's Sidious's apprentice learning the ways of the dark side. And our boy gets tasked with something. And it is to go and to kill Qui-Gon Jinn. Specifically Qui-Gon Jinn. You know, if Obi-Wan dies, cool. I don't really care if he dies. Was basically Sidious's like output. He's like, but Qui-Gon Jinn needs to die. And you guys might be like, well, why did Qui-Gon need to die? Well, because Qui-Gon was literally the perfect Jedi for Anakin.
Yes.
Anakin has a lot of problems with attachment. Anakin has a lot of problems with everything. He has a lot of problems.
He needs some counseling.
He did. I mean, you know, the sand, it's rough. It's coarse.
Of course.
It gets everywhere. You know, you got that going on for him. And with the guidance of Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon was very good at having attachment, but also separating himself. And he did very good. Like, people call him a great Jedi. I actually, after reading so much of the High Republic, which I'm up to date, I am done with Into the Dark. Qui-Gon is a true Jedi. I think we keep calling him a great Jedi. I think he is actually just a true Jedi who listens to the Force and does what he feels is right and pays attention to what the Force wants and not what the Council wants from the Force.
Exactly.
And that is probably the biggest thing that is so good for what he's doing. And so obviously he's tasked to kill Qui-Gon because of those reasons. You know, he's going to teach Anakin how to just listen to the Force. This is the will of the Force. This is what you need to do. You are the chosen one. If that's the case, you need to be able to do these things. And yes, you're going to have these attachments, but we have to find a way to healthily work through them versus, oh, you mean Anakin disappeared from my side to go to Tatooine?
Where could he be?
What? Because that was a great idea, Obi-Wan. Thank you. And so that idea is something that we really need to like. It's huge, right? And so that's also why that duel from Episode 1 is called Duel of the Fates, because it was the fate of Anakin, and thus the fate of the Skywalker Saga initially. Now, note, you can be like, okay, well, what if then Anakin just would have died and the Emperor still would have risen to power? Sweet.
Oh, cool. Different story.
We can talk about that story and the ramifications of Darth Maul on Tatooine when we get to the Rebels part of his life.
Yeah.
And so that right there was a huge deciding factor. Like, if you don't have Darth Maul, if you don't have that character slot, right? That slot, whoever it was, you know, if they put, you know, Dooku in that slot, Dooku would have been the most important character, at least for the start of the Skywalker Saga.
And if you have not heard Dave Filoni's explanation of Duel of the Fates,
oh my gosh,
even though he's not the director of the movie, he sums it up the best. So just go to watch The Mandalorian special features. It's like in the first episode.
And it's honestly what makes the Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul fight in Rebels like so much more impactful too, is the impact that it's the Duel of the Fates part 2. Because if Obi-Wan fails, Luke
Darth
will never
Maul gets Luke.
Well, and even if he doesn't get him, Luke never learns the way of the Force.
Yeah, he'd just be chilling on Tatooine with some.
No, he'd be dead. He'd be fried up on the. He'd be fried up on the side of the moisture farm. Boy wouldn't have gotten it. He'd been like, we got these droids.
Although maybe he could have gone to Tashi Station to pick up his power converters.
He might have finally gotten his power converters, which is the biggest plot hole in all of Star Wars. Just to be aware on that one, right? But it still is like, it's just it's very huge, right? You know, like, okay, I'm getting questioned. Yes, it's the biggest. How is it not the biggest plot hole? He never got the power converters. The whole story.
There is a deleted scene with Luke and Biggs at Tashi Station, though. You never see the power converters, but they're there.
I need that scene in my life, you know.
It's on the extras in Disney Plus.
I'm gonna have to go watch it then.
Under New Hope.
Perfect. That's what we need, right? Okay, I know I'm being extra by saying that that's the biggest plot hole, but that was just
an annoying plot.
It is an annoying one. It's like it's just a small thing. It's how we as Star Wars fans can gatekeep everything, so we do it. You know. I'm kidding. Please don't be a gatekeeping Star Wars fan. There's enough of them out there.
Don't do it.
I mean, we had somebody. Funny enough, we had somebody on our TikTok gatekeeping us because mitochondria.
It's not the powerhouse of the cell, apparently.
Which, again, oversimplification. I've had this talk many a time. I understand it's an oversimplification, but like, bruh.
Not the point of the whole.
Not the point of the clip we put up at all. Even if you just go to the fact of the meme that was there about mitochondria as a powerhouse of the cell. The meme, they were making fun of the meme. Like, anyway, Star Wars fans never cease to amaze me because we're just that cool, right? So back, breed. We really are. Back to the story at hand, right?
Back to Maul.
So Darth Maul does this thing. He kills Qui-Gon, which is exactly what needed to happen. Then he gets his butt molly-whopped and pushed down a giant chute.
I mean, technically he loses his butt. If you want to get really technical.
I mean, his butt did get pushed into the chute with him.
But we don't know where it went.
We don't know what happened to it after that, because then do you wanna pick up on when we see him in Clone Wars?
In Clone Wars, when we meet Maul, he is this weird, demented, half human, half metal spider creation, like living in the sewer it's not even on Dathomir, it's on some other planet. It's not where they had the fight. It was on a
trash planet.
Yeah, he's literally in the dumpster. And his poor, sweet, dumb brother, Savage, is sent on a mission to go find him and bring him back to Mother Talzin, where she kind of cures him from his insanity that has taken him over, I guess, from the sheer amount of pain that he was in.
It was
literally being sliced in half.
He was on Lotho Minor.
Oh, trash planet.
That was what it was called, Lotho Minor. I looked it up. But he was left in that state by his need to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi post Obi-Wan Kenobi slicing him in half.
Yeah.
So he ran himself crazy.
His entire identity is just must kill Obi-Wan. And so Savage brings him back. Mother Talzin does some voodoo witch magic on him and makes him these metal legs, which are very creepy at first because they're like too big for him.
But they're super strong.
Yeah. They shrink down later, which I don't remember why they shrink down.
I think when he was starting his crime syndicate, he had the money to get new legs and just was like, I'm going to get new legs. Either that or when he took over, one of his planets. One of the planets that is like the most... How the heck did you take over that planet? But we'll get there in a second. We'll get there.
So he gets these legs, the first mega legs, and he and Savage go on a hunt to find Obi-Wan. And at the same time, Maul's
and
like,
killing
hey,
Darth,
Savage.
and they're killing Count Dooku was the point too.
Yes, because obviously he has a vendetta against Dooku now because he's Palpatine's new apprentice and he's been replaced.
Not to mention Savage wants to kill him because Asajj wants him dead.
Savage is, like I said, he's the poor dumb brother.
He gets roped into everything. Asajj Ventress wants Dooku dead, so she literally makes Savage fight to the death, then kill his brother to become her apprentice.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole lot of just strange apprentice master
relations
drama happening in this season of Clone Wars.
It was pretty great and terrible all at the same time.
And if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen this arc in Clone Wars, Obi-Wan ends up killing Savage.
Yes, I believe he does.
Just feels...
No, he doesn't. Obi-Wan doesn't kill him.
He doesn't. Is it Anakin then?
Sidious
One of them kills him.
Sidious kills him.
Oh, so
because they're fighting. So it was after. So Darth Maul overthrew Mandalore.
Yes.
Don't know how, but he overthrew Mandalore, and so then Obi-Wan overthrows him.
And then Sidious shows up and says,
"Oh, you're alive! I'll teach you to mess with me."
It's like the only time in Clone Wars we see Lightning Sidious. He always stays nice and friendly Emperor Palpatine, but it's like one of the coolest scenes in that season. He pulls up in his little hooded cloak and just goes into this dark room and just zaps the shit out of all of them.
Yeah, and then this is the first time we also see him duel, and he pulls out 2 lightsabers and like, oh. And we figure it's because he just likes to have fun and not actually take anything seriously.
Because he knows he's going to win. It's not a fight. It's not a fair fight.
It was not a fair fight. He was like, 2v1? All right, let's go. It's still not fair.
Sorry, Savage.
And I think that was when Darth Maul had the Darksaber too.
Yeah, he's got it at
so
that
technically, point. Sidious is the one who has the Darksaber. He is the one who has the claim.
Technically. If we're going by these new rules, you have to win it in battle, which has never been a thing, but whatever.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know if it was or wasn't in rules. Anyway, I'll let you keep going while I'm looking that up.
I don't think it was, because otherwise, I mean, Ezra just took it.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, Ezra took it not knowing the rules, because why would Ezra know those rules?
See, I don't think there are rules.
And I think that it was given to Maul by Vizsla.
That's a whole Mandalorian chain of discussion.
Because I think pre-Vizsla probably got his butt kicked by Maul. Yeah, Maul killed Vizsla in a duel and took the Darksaber as his own.
Okay.
So that one was a proper pass. But then it gets taken by Ezra, who gives it to Kanan, who gives it to Sabine, and then Sabine gives it to Bo-Katan, who doesn't want to take it because she didn't earn it, kind of thing. Because that did happen a little bit in Rebels. She was kind of like hesitant to take it. She was like, I don't know. And then we don't know how she lost it. Gideon got it.
Find out.
And then Gideon lost it to Din Djarin, which if you don't know that name, then don't worry about it. Just pretend that I said nothing.
And that's where we left off with the Darksaber. But
I agree. She did have it once. She should just take it again. But she feels like the story won't be powerful enough now. Like she actually has to fight Din. Like she has to fight him. He can't just yield again, because it's not that the Darksaber has power. Like, it's a strong lightsaber, don't get me wrong, but it's not the thing that has it's a lightsaber. It doesn't have the power. Like, it never has. The Mandalorians went back to using metal bullets in the Jedi Mandalorian Wars, because then the Jedi were deflecting it, and they were just deflecting hot metal into their bodies.
And it doesn't work as nicely as a blaster.
Nope, it doesn't. So it's the story that gives the power, because now you are Mandalore. You're the toughest. And that was the story of Mandalore. You know, Mandalore is supposed to be the strong guy, which again, Maul happened to be Mandalore for a short period of time. And it was really cool. Then he got his butt kicked by Sidious and Savage died. All right, now we're back on track.
Oh, and he also murdered Obi-Wan's love interest.
Oh my gosh. That part hurt me so much. I didn't know if we were going to bring it up, but that part hurt.
I knew it was coming going into Clone Wars.
Cried so hard for him.
It didn't hit me as hard as I think it would have if I had gone in blind, but it's still one of the
I didn't go in blind, and it still left me hurting.
So while all this drama is happening, it really is just Maul hates Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Obi-Wan, I don't know if he hates Maul because it's not an Obi-Wan's
It's not an Obi-Wan
nature,
trait to hate Maul.
but he's as close as he's ever going to get to hating someone.
Yes.
And then
I think they should just revenge. But that's just me.
So then the Siege of Mandalore happens in season 7 of Clone Wars.
Yep.
If for some reason you have not seen it, I don't want to spoil it because it's perfect.
It's pretty amazing. Go watch it. Things happen. Maul disappears.
The Siege of Mandalore is my favorite Star Wars movie at this point. It's really a movie. It's 4 episodes that play like a movie.
It's really good. Really well done. It really was just good, high quality content.
It was so good.
Go watch it. Go watch all of Clone Wars.
Yeah, watch all of it.
Watch all of Clone Wars. Watch all of Rebels. It's great.
Don't do one of those cheating lists where you just watch the essential Clone Wars episodes.
No. Watch all of it. Watch all of it. Are you a true fan? I'm not going to gatekeep right now. Maybe a little bit. But you need to
watch all of Clone Wars.
Watch all of Clone Wars. Rebels isn't as good until you get into season 3. Season 3 of Rebels was super good.
You can skip some of season 1 of Rebels.
That's fine. We'll allow that.
We
will allow that. And we're not going to talk about Resistance because it doesn't exist.
I refuse to watch it.
I can't convince myself to check it out.
So we leave off in season 7 in Clone Wars. Ahsoka kind of lets them all go. That's all I'll say about it. But he ends up just piecing out of there. And we kind of lose him for a little while. Except, I think this is when the Son of Dathomir comics take place.
Probably which I haven't read them.
I reread the first one the other day, but it's been a while since I've read them. Basically, Maul just wants to kill Dooku. That's the plot.
Oh, somebody wants to kill Count Dooku? Oh no!
That's your very simple plot synopsis. Obviously, it doesn't happen because we haven't gotten to Revenge of the Sith yet in the timeline. So, but he does partner with Cad Bane for a while.
It's only 4 issues.
Yeah, it's a very short run.
Super short. I might have to read that on my own time.
Yeah, I remember really it's been 2 years since I read it.
Cad Bane's a very interesting character. Yeah.
I want Cad Bane to come back in The Mandalorian or in the Ahsoka show.
I feel like he'd be too old. I mean, we don't know enough about his race. Yes, that's fair. I will concede that. But
who could come back and is not too old is Hondo, because that man is already 150, and we don't know how long his species lives.
Okay, so this is a spoil for anybody that hasn't been to Disney. I'm sorry. Hondo is at Galaxy's Edge.
I did know that. I've been avoiding spoilers, but I know he's there.
So I found that one. He is still alive come episode 7, 8, and 9. So
my headcanon is that he's immortal.
I hope so. I'm okay with that. Because I gave you guys a fair 2 seconds of warning, chat. You guys had 2 seconds to close your ears. You guys know what you're getting into. He's
150 years old by the time Rebels happens. So he's got to be immortal.
I'm okay with that. Either that or he has just a super long lifespan. The fact that he's still alive.
Super lucky. Yeah. Because
it's not luck. That man makes his own luck. Oh.
Han Solo's luck level is here. And Hondo's about up here.
Yeah. Hondo just goes.
I don't remember what I was saying before that. Something to do with Rebels.
Darth Maul.
Oh, Cad Bane. That's Cad Bane's how we got here.
Cad Bane is how we got here, yes. So Son of Dathomir, he does some stuff with Cad Bane, which I had to read those. Only 4 comics, not too bad. Then we get into Rebels, and we're on crap. What planet were we on?
Another creepy, smoky
planet.
It's
a Sith planet. It was a cool one. It wasn't Korriban. Where does Ezra meet Maul? Where does that person fight that person?
If you haven't seen Rebels, we'll spare you.
Malachor.
Yeah, I should know that.
Malachor. I should have known that too, because the stuff that looked like it happened at Malachor looked like something that was described from the Old Republic games when Revan was doing things with the Jedi Civil War because he was evil. Anyway. Malachor. So Ezra meets this old hermity dude on Malachor. And Malachor, they're there because they need to get a Sith holocron so they can figure out how to stop the Empire or something like that. Some generic reason. Beat the bad guys. Need a Sith holocron. They also kill like the last 3 Inquisitors. All in like one fell swoop.
I hate the Inquisitors. They're dumb. Anyway.
Cal Kestis is one of the greatest characters in the series for what he did to the Inquisitor school.
Still haven't played Fallen Order.
You haven't played Fallen Order?
No.
Cool stuff happens at the end.
I need to just watch a playthrough because
I didn't record my playthrough, sadly. Otherwise, I'd tell you to watch mine. I could just play through it again, guys, right? We could just play Fallen Order again, and I'll just record it, and then I can just tell you to go to watch it.
Yeah.
So
we're on Malachor.
They're fighting, and then trying to get used to the Sith, all these things. And we find out that this hermit dude is the one and only Darth Maul. And Ahsoka,
Ezra into
he does,
getting
doing lots of things
for him.
Doing lots of things for him.
Yeah, poor Ezra.
Ezra
so
gets
dumb.
played. So we get that. Then we also have the fact that Ahsoka's there, and then they fight a little bit. She's like, "Oh, you're here? You're still alive?" And he's like, "Wait, you're still alive?"
We thought we got rid of each other.
Yeah, exactly. So then they fight a little bit. They do a bunch of stuff. He's like, "This is my new apprentice, Ezra." And they're like, "No."
And Ezra's like, "What?"
Ezra's like, "What?" And Kanan's like, "Wait a minute. No, that's not how that works here." Lots of fun going back and forth.
He blinds Ezra. Not Ezra, Kanan.
He blinds Kanan.
Slight spoiler for Rebels, but he spends like 2 seasons blind, so that's not really a spoiler.
Say, if you're coming looking for a Star Wars podcast and you don't expect some spoilers.
Especially when it's been out for like 6 years.
It's fair.
Even though I just watched it last year.
I did too. I watched it during quarantine.
I think we all did.
That's probably what happened. So then, anyway, a bunch of stuff keeps happening with Maul. He keeps showing up and doing these small little things to trick Ezra until Ezra basically is like, he finds out, he's like, Obi-Wan's still alive. I know Obi-Wan's still alive. So he somehow tracks something the entire Empire, Darth Vader couldn't do, is he found out where Obi-Wan was. And Obi-Wan was at, you guessed it, Tatooine. Like, I mean, the best place to hide.
This is my theory of how that happened, that Obi-Wan wanted to be found and let him find him through the Force.
I don't think so. I think that 100% Ezra got, I think the Force wanted Obi-Wan to be found.
Okay,
because one thing I did hear from the voice of Kanan as he learned about the Force, the guy who played Kanan.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yep. I was watching a TikTok with somebody was talking about, like, showing a part of his interview. He's like, it's whatever the Force wants. Like, it's not us wanting balance in the Force. It's the Force choosing who wins and who loses, predetermined based on what designates balance. Is basically how Dave Filoni talks about it. And so the
Force wanted that full circle moment of justice for Obi-Wan.
Not even necessarily, I wouldn't even necessarily call it justice. They had to have the duel of the fates again. The duel of the fates full circled.
The best battle, because it's not a battle.
It is literally the best battle because now note, best story-wise, not best cinematography. It was 4 seconds long.
There's one lightsaber.
There was 2 lightsabers, 5 seconds of interaction, and that was it. Because Darth Maul goes into his stance that he had in Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan takes Qui-Gon's stance. And they go to fight. Yeah. And then they go to fight, and as Maul goes to hit up just like he did to Qui-Gon and then kill him, Obi-Wan steps back and slices down through him, cutting his lightsaber in half and
his body.
thus killing him.
He learned his lesson.
Very powerful moment, because at that moment, Darth Maul held the single greatest character slot again for the second trilogy. Well, the original trilogy, right? So
yeah, the original
trilogy. And so the reason that was so important was because if Ben died there, right? If Obi-Wan died at that moment, Luke's not finding the Force, guys. Luke's not leaving Tatooine.
Luke's just a kid on Tatooine.
He's a kid. He's like a 15, 16-year-old on Tatooine. Because it's only a couple years before A New Hope. Like, Battle of Lothal is only a few years before. Like, it's like around the same time as the Death Star's getting constructed and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the cool part about Rebels. It lines up pretty much right when it ends is when when the original trilogy starts.
Yep.
But that was a huge thing, was like, you think about it, and that duel is so important because if Obi-Wan died, like, what happens to the galaxy? He could not, if he died, and he knew it, if he had died, that would be ruined. Yep. Everything would be ruined throughout the rest of the galaxy.
Unless Yoda came out of hiding and just like shut up on Tatooine, which
he was so disconnected from the Force.
Crazy Yoda being the first apprentice that Luke gets would have been entertaining, but not productive.
That would not have gone well. I'd have been here for it, but that would not have gone well. It was such a powerful moment. Now note, again, if you guys didn't know already, we are a speculation call-in show. And I just put the link into Discord, or put the link into chat of the Discord. That's what I meant to say. If you guys would like to talk and ask us any questions, we have a podcast waiting room chat. You guys can go and sit in there, and we'll pull you guys in. It'll probably move Leah's face because Discord.
And there's only 2 windows here.
And cropping is a pain in the butt. But if you guys have questions, jump into the podcast waiting room, and we can pull you guys in. Or if you guys have questions that you'd like to ask in chat, go ahead and ask them in chat, and we'll answer them as we get to them. We're going to keep talking about it until we see some people over there for the last like 10, 15. Sorry. No, we got a half an hour left. I looked at the wrong timer. So for the last like half hour, we're going to keep talking and rambling on about why he's so cool. But we want you guys to get prepared so we can pull you guys into the podcast stuff once we're ready for you guys. So that being said, Darth Maul, super mad important, super awesome character. Very, very interesting life. But again, I definitely feel it really didn't matter who, because they used the same character to fill two very important slots of the entire series. Because then literally the sequel trilogy wouldn't have happened if the original trilogy didn't happen, right? Like that's the road I'm going down. Like, Maul had actually no direct effect on the sequel trilogy other than that.
Other than Luke getting to study under Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, other than Luke becoming the hero of the galaxy.
Casually.
As important. You do on a regular weekend. So, it's very interesting, like, how important that slot is, because especially with, like, you know, you think about it, like the way that not George, I was about to talk about George, but I want to talk about John Williams, actually. The way he named the music, of course, George probably had some influence on that. But, like, the way that music is named and everything like that, I mean, we can all hear Duel of the Fates in our heads right now. We can.
Yeah. And sing it randomly because it's so catchy.
Exactly. It's like getting Rickrolled, but for Star Wars. So it's really one of those things where, like, he wrote that as Duel of the Fates. We have Battle of Heroes, right? You think about that. That is Obi-Wan and Anakin going at it, brothers, the two biggest heroes of the Republic fighting each other. And it's just so interesting to look back on because it's such a monumental moment in each series with what's going on with him. Because then there's that speculation of like, if Maul had died, right? What if Qui-Gon lived? Anakin wouldn't have become, more than likely, Anakin wouldn't have fallen privy to Senator Palpatine's advances.
So would have Palpatine have just gotten a new pawn? And if so, who would it have been?
And how would he have done that? That's the other thing you got to think about too, is what was his contingency if Qui-Gon Jinn lived? Like, would that ruin everything? Because I kind of think that might have been a huge mess of his plans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he still would have his two armies. So that
he would still have his two armies.
Was still alone. Still gonna happen.
Actually, no, he didn't have the clones. They didn't start making the clones until after Phantom Menace. The clones were not
made them.
He could have still made them, but they were not in production because they had not started the war against the Separatists.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that the Separatists still wouldn't have. There still could have been a Separatist fight in everything that happened. But
I think there still would have been a war of some kind with Separatists because we have that whole stupid trade agreement plotline in Phantom Menace.
Yes, I think the Trade Federation would have still led to some sort of
my least favorite character,
problematic.
Newt Gunray. I hate Newt Gunray. He's
the worst. He is
dumbest character in all of Star Wars.
He is actively one of the worst characters.
He's just bad in like a bad way, not bad in like a villain way. Like,
yeah,
villains are at least interesting. He's just there.
He was bad.
Jar Jar is not bad movie wise. He was an experiment that needed to happen. That technology has given us so much in movies since then.
We'll say that the things that have come because of him might be good. Jar Jar's character-wise I don't think that Jar Jar really added anything to the series. As a character, I don't think that he added much.
He's better in Clone Wars. I think he adds more to Clone Wars.
He does add a little bit more in Clone Wars. But if you go just based off the movies, he died the death he needed to die post. Because that he died a fool on Naboo.
I do like when he and any of the other Jedi have to interact because they're just like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle this.
Can we please give back? Please return. Can we leave this at Naboo, please? Please? We know one. Gosh.
I forget. We're going with
I was talking about how awesome. Yeah. So because
had survived.
Yeah, if Qui-Gon had survived because he would have trained Anakin, I think Anakin, no matter what, would have brought balance. I think Order 66 would not have happened without Anakin because of how strong he was. I don't think Order 66 could have happened properly without him.
No.
I don't think any other Jedi could have, even corrupted to the dark side, could have filled the power slot that was Anakin Skywalker. And I don't think the 5-0, if I put the 5-0 against Anakin, my money's on Anakin.
Yeah, he could have stopped them.
He would have hated that he would have had to kill Rex and his squad. And maybe he would have found a solution like Ahsoka did.
I think he could have talked down some of the ones he was closer with, but...
Yeah, he could have talked down... He could have held them back some like Ahsoka did, but like...
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think that would have been a fight. I don't think that, in all honesty, I don't think Obi-Wan versus his Legion would have been a fight, which is why they had to shoot him off of the mountain.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that strong of a Jedi. He had to work harder than every other Jedi to be as strong and to make it onto the council like he did. Which is huge too. And then at that point, 4, 5, and 6 would have probably still been, I think it wouldn't have been the Empire. I think it would have been the Broken Republic.
Yeah.
So it would have been the time where they're trying to repair the Republic and fix everything that happened. And then I think the sequel trilogy could have been the New Republic or the Empire, finally hits the Empire kind of thing. But I think Palpatine would have died for his crimes. And then some random executioner, some random Jedi executioner would have just been imbued with the Dark Force, like the dark side of the Force.
This is really making me want a Palpatine backstory book that shows Palpatine studying.
I would love to have
as a teenager
a super good canon one.
Yeah.
Because technically Plagueis, you get a little bit of that, but Plagueis isn't canon anymore. Like the book's not.
No.
So it stinks because I think that's and that does bring a interesting problem with canon versus non-canon. It really does kind of stink because I would love for canon to be I'd love to read the EU stuff. I love that, but at the same time, I'm I don't want to spend my time reading that when I could read something that is canon and has been chosen to be this is what matters. It's making my priority list, right? I can't read the books I want because I'm in high school and I'm forced to read crap.
Yep.
Which yes.
Since we got a Dooku backstory book in canon, it'd be nice to have a Palpatine backstory.
That was
book.
so good, but my only problem with that one was it still didn't even really talk about why he went to the dark side.
No, the ending was so rushed.
He 100% went to the dark side because Qui-Gon died. That was the final straw. Canonically, was the final straw. But I would like to have known when his first apprentice went to visit him, what happened there, and I would have liked to know what would have happened when he learned about Qui-Gon's death.
I want his first apprentice. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. What is that man's name?
I have. I'll look it up real quick. But
He
you continue.
in the audiobooks has the best Southern accent.
I didn't listen to it in the audiobooks.
You got to listen to Dooku as an audiobook because it was written as an audio drama. But he has the Southern drawl. It starts with an R. I can picture it. But he has an interesting story I'd love to see more of as well.
Trains 2 Padawans. Know that. Let's just go to Wikipedia.
Let's see.
In canon. Apprentices Rael Averross.
Rail. That's his name. I want more Rail content.
Rail. I want more Rail content. I also want more Quinlan Vos. I need more Quinlan Vos.
There we go.
That's so interesting to me. I want to read. Now, note. I need to read Dark Apprentice. I'm probably that's gonna be one of the books that I get on audio when I re-up my Audible in 2 days. I think I'm gonna get Dark Apprentice, and then I want to move into the Thrawn trilogy. The first one, and then I'll move into Ascendancy afterwards because I want to read it out of order.
I think I'm gonna be on Thrawn come May.
Well, I'm hoping to have Thrawn done before the next High Republic book comes out in June. We don't have to be at the same place at the same time though, because you have a whole list and everything you're working through
in canonical order, which means this is this week's.
Interesting
book. It's definitely written for a younger audience. It's basically retellings of the first season of Clone Wars from different perspectives. So the very first cover, story is one of the the very first story is the first episode where they're on Geonosis.
Which is not the first episode. If you watch Clone Wars, they actually have a list of what the first episode is. That one actually like takes place like a year down the line.
Like the 7th episode, but this is the first episode of the first season if you're watching in release order.
Yes.
But it's this episode, they're on Geonosis from the clone's perspective. And they're like, what the hell is this Yoda thing flying
what is
around
he doing?
here?
What are those?
Basically.
Gosh, I really do want to sit down and do that though. That's super excited about that.
Yeah, I've been reworking through Clone Wars in like actual chronological order.
See, and I think that's what makes me excited about the Thrawn stuff. Is it's that in between era from Clone Wars to beginning of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. So excited.
I'm excited to be moving out of the prequel era. I feel like I've been in the prequel era. I have been in the prequel era for 3 months.
Yeah.
Of content, and we're getting out of it.
You got a little bit of breakup with that by being in the High Republic era for a little bit too.
Yeah. I love the prequel era, but there's so much more. I mean, there's 2 other shelves of content back here that are not prequel era.
Yes.
So.
And I have my one shelf of content. Got the 3 Thrawn books I need to read. I got to continue reading the Star Wars from a certain point of view. I
have only read the New Hope one. I have been saving Empire.
I got the Empire one too, so maybe we'll have to figure out when you get to that during the year. Maybe I'll have to sit down and try to read.
Yeah, I think it's.
You'll have to tell me about a week or 2 before you start reading it that I got to read it, and then I can get through it before you, because you're going to read it faster than me anyway. So.
Well, you got some time. I have the Clone Wars, and then I have. This is my month stack over here. I have Dark Disciple.
Dark Disciple is Dark Disciple. Is that what era is that in?
This is during the Clone Wars.
Okay, sweet.
Still. So it's about Asajj and Dooku during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Asajj, Dooku, and Quinlan Vos. Because that's the other guy on the cover is Quinlan Vos.
Yes. And then after that, I'll read this for the 3rd time.
I need to read that for the first time.
It's really good.
Well, the person who does the... Give me a second, wait.
E.K. Johnson?
No, I was just thinking, guys, I think Randy's already mowing. Sorry, Randy's my neighbor and I hate him. I don't have a lot of... My community knows that I don't like Randy. But the person who did the voice for that one...
It's Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah, like I heard that was the person who played her, who did her voice, right?
Yes. I've only ever read it. I've never listened to it. I want to listen to it. It has slight continuity issues after season 7, but it only affects I think someone did analysis. It changes 2% of the whole book.
Oh so no!
Fine. Yeah. So everyone can calm down.
How dare you mess with our canon?
The only thing that really changes is her flashbacks to when she was dealing with Maul after Siege of Mandalore. Oh, that's it. It has nothing to do with the actual story that's in there.
Oh, you mean it's something that she could have misremembered?
Yeah, exactly.
And could have been different? Oh, dang. Memory is such a funny, fickle thing. Especially in a fantasy novel.
There's a lot of details she needs to remember, so
it's true.
Very possible.
She's a very important person. Not quite as important as Maul is for the series, but if we take it outside of story reasons, she's actually a very important person.
She's my favorite. Mm-hmm.
She is really good for having a strong female Jedi. Like, we do not have a lot of great long-lasting, strong female characters.
I'm sure we will in High Republic.
We definitely will in High Republic. I'm happy about that.
But as far as the original trilogy, the original trilogy has no female Jedi.
Yeah, the original had none.
The actual
in the
prequels, everyone dies,
and we don't focus on anybody a lot. So no. You see Luminara for like 5 minutes. You see
Shakti.
a Shakti for a little bit, and then you have the Twi'lek one.
I don't even know her name.
She was Quinlan Voss's Isla Sakura.
That's it.
And like you get to see them for like 10 minutes. You have Yaddle that you see like once in the movies on the Jedi Council.
She's just chilling in the background.
She's just chilling in the background. So like
that's what I want. I want some Yaddle content.
Yaddle content would be amazing. I think Yaddle and Yoda oinka boinked.
Are they Grogu's parents?
That's how we got a baby Grogu. Either that or one of them laid an egg. I mean, those are our options. Not many.
I want to know where the rest of their species is. Did they all die?
I think they're in the chaos.
Oh, that's a good theory.
I think they'd had to be in the chaos. Like think about like the Lasats. The Lasats are in the chaos now. They can only be found by taking a specific route through the system. So
that makes sense.
All right, again, guys, we're only gonna be here about 15 more minutes. So if you guys have any questions, we're gonna open it up, even if it's not Darth Maul related. Any Star Wars questions in my Discord, jump into the podcast waiting room, and we'll pull you on in. We'll let you guys ask any questions. Please come in and ask some questions. You know, we want to hear what you guys want to know about. And maybe we have some knowledge on it. Maybe we have to sit down and look at it ourselves and then make some speculation. We're willing to do that with you guys. So, jump on in.
Otherwise, we're going to keep rambling.
Exactly. What about Bad Batch are you hyped about most?
I'm hyped about seeing the clone impact post Order 66 for the surviving clones.
Oh, that's fair. The clone v Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Spot. I want to see if they were. I'm hyped to see if they were part of Order 66.
I don't think the Bad Batch was. I think they're probably missing the chip.
And see, that's the thing. That's why I'm interested on if they're actually missing their chips or not. Which, I mean, it would make sense if they were because of Echo. Was it Echo who became the Oracle? What clone became like the Oracle?
Wasn't it Fives?
No, Fives is dead. He died because he saw somebody else's chip malfunctioning and he started digging.
Yeah. Yeah, Echo's the one that got plugged into the computer.
Yeah. So
Fives is the one who went crazy, and
Fives wasn't crazy. Fives was forced into being crazy.
Yeah, he was framed. He was gaslit.
Fives was gaslit hard. Because he died because he was in that stuff, and then it would have had to been Echo, I think. Let me double check. I'm double checking because I thought that he was dead.
Yeah, Echo's the one I thought was dead, and then they started seeing his military tactics pop up.
They did, yeah. It was Echo. CT-1409.
It's also going to be interesting to see, because we know some point between Order 66 and Rebels, all the surviving clones were decommissioned. So
yes, and what does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean when you get decommissioned as a clone?
When Wolf pings the Empire, they're just like, there's a decommissioned clone unit pinging us.
Yep.
Yeah, decommissioned.
Well, that's the thing. Like, is decommissioned just kicked out of the military? Which they were, but some of them were definitely killed. So there is that too, which is a huge thing to think about. Kind of spooky, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, in Rebels, we just see the 3 that are just on that.
We see the 3, desert. And then I was watching Return of the Jedi again, and I was like, "Oh, look, it's Rex."
I wholeheartedly accept the canon that is Rex. I know that George Lucas has said that, but there's some debate.
I know there's some people who are like, "I don't like that. That's retconned," and it's like the dude didn't have a name before.
Yeah, I like it better. At least we have a reason.
You're giving that character. You're giving that character an existence post what he was originally supposed to have.
And if any clone would have stuck around for the Battle of Endor, it was Rex.
Oh, heck yes.
I feel like the other 2 are there. They're just off screen.
Didn't one... I thought one of them got killed.
I think one does.
Yeah, so it wasn't Wolf. It was the other one. The crazy one got killed.
Oh, yeah.
sadly. And that was during a fight. I think that was during the fight of Lothal.
We have a question. Wait, Rex was on Endor.
Rex
Yes.
was on Endor. So if you remember towards the last scenes on Endor,
with the Ewoks.
with the Ewoks, he was in the part near the bunker when they got captured. He's the one that has the white mustache and beard. Because if you look at the end of Rebels, they have Rex constantly with this white mustache and beard, and then right as he's like towards the end, getting ready to leave for the last fight, he's wearing one of the Rebel like Endor helmets. Mm-hmm. And so he does end up fighting on Endor, and it's just like you also see the Ghost in the
Lando's Armada.
Going against an Exegol. Which somebody did bring up a great point about Exegol, and I don't know that it's good that I should bring it up, because it definitely is a pretty big, not as big of a plot hole as not going back to get your power converters, but it's definitely a plot hole. Yes, they had the signal to get there from Rey, but if they didn't have anybody from the Navigators Guild, path engines, which are new, which they wouldn't have had because path engines weren't a thing yet. In our world, path engines weren't a thing yet. They were only slightly a thing during the High Republic. And then or they didn't have any Chiss on board for Second Sight.
Skywalkers.
Yeah, they didn't have any Skywalkers. How did Lando's Armada get to Exegol in the Chaos? Somebody brought that up to me, and I was like,
it's probably the same way that the Ghost got to the Lasat planet in the Chaos.
They had a Wayfarer.
But then they were able to program the coordinates into their ship once. They
did have the full course, but like that's the thing, like without each ship being there, like I don't know if Rey's path would have been acceptable for that many ships at once. Like, now note, I'm not saying that it shouldn't have happened. I mean, we had to have a good ending, right? Like, but I'm just saying that is something that brings up some question. I know I don't want an answer because any answer is not going to be good because, we don't have actual good way to put that to make it happen. But I was just interested. I don't know. Either that or I could see Thrawn owing Lando a favor.
A favor?
I could see that actually.
Thrawn would be
the best person to need a favor from.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. Thrawn scares me.
The other thing though is Thrawn was, and from what I've heard, is Ascendancy first, Empire second. So hearing that the Emperor came back, he might also be willing to help just for that aspect, but we don't know anything that happened to him post. We don't even know if he's still alive.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's still alive post Mandalorian.
Speaking of Thrawn, small Thrawn news update from yesterday. Benedict Cumberbatch said in an interview that he is not interested in playing Emperor Thrawn.
Oh, thank God.
Because he does not want to be turned blue. That's his reason.
You know what? After seeing how Avatar happened, I don't blame him.
He says that he'd rather spend all that time with his kids because he knows it would be like a 6-hour makeup process every day.
Yeah, it would be a lot. That's that is a lot actually to deal with.
And I mean, he may only, depending on what they do with him, he may only be in 1 or 2 episodes of the Ahsoka show or whatever show he's showing up in. But I feel like it could potentially be across multiple of these shows happening in the same little timeline. So.
I think that it's going to be across the Ahsoka show. Then we might honestly get a show that's going to need, maybe a Thrawn show. I would love a Thrawn show in the future. I mean, we got some openings now that, some stuff for the New Republic isn't going to happen. So.
Yeah. So there's your small news update for the week. No Cumberbatch.
No Cumberbatch, which I'm okay with. Yeah, it's a very lengthy process. I remember doing stage makeup.
I mean,
It's always worse.
Paul Bettany's vision makeup, I think, takes 8 hours to put on or something ridiculous.
If we also just want to throw out and remember, you and I were in shows together in high school. And do you remember how early I had to get there to get my makeup on?
And that's just normal makeup.
And that was just normal makeup. I was there 4 hours before the show because mascara and eyeliner are a pain in the ever-loving to put on. I almost got stabbed in the eye by the person doing it, though. Like, I saw that photo the other day, and I was like, oh, look at, I hope she's doing well. She was not happy, but she was a very good friend. Very good friend to do that stuff.
But yeah, normal makeup takes long enough. You add in turning your entire body.
Yeah, I think we just dip them in a vat of blue paint and it works out.
One day we're going to get to the point where, like, facial mapping will just be able to do it for us.
I feel like we should already be partially there.
You would think so, but no one's tried it yet.
Yeah, no one has tried it yet. And I mean, they just moved with how they're doing Mandalorian. It's already like super inventive because they're using like a bunch of flat screen TVs, and the
volume makes me so happy. It is gonna change the way.
Crispy, you understand completely. If you haven't stabbed yourself in the eye at least once, how do you know the mascara's on? Exactly.
The best is when you put it on and then you sneeze and you end up with like spider lashes all over your bottom of your eyes because you squeeze them together.
That one was always good. We got to the point where when I was in college, they just put it above my eyelid for the eyeliner, and it still looked
like
just
it's
as good.
Enough.
Like it's good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. And once I got the beard, I did a couple shows for the high school that I work at. Nothing. They don't make me put on any makeup. It works out perfectly. So
that's funny.
All right, we're gonna give you guys one last opportunity as we finish up today. Any last questions you guys have, get them in now. By the way, I do also want to extend something that we do want to hear about from you guys on our social medias. When I post this clip that I remember to clip out later to promote this, why is Darth Maul the most important or not the most important? Do you agree with our reasoning or not, if you saw it? But if he's not the most important, who's the most important person in the entire series in your eyes? We want to know. We want to be able to talk with you guys about that. Please come see the show live. We love to talk to you guys. We love to interact with you guys live. We're not as interactive because we are still doing a podcast, right? But we do enjoy that. We want to talk with you guys. Have you guys jump into our room and do stuff like that. But if you guys have no other questions and stuff like that, well then I guess we can call it for the day.
We can call it.
All right. Well then, Leah, how about you see us on out then?
Thanks everyone for coming to watch. Thanks for listening at home, and may the Force be with you.
Always. Have a great day, everybody.